Hey, it's Kip in Arizona again, and I thought I would do a video on these new raised beds. I bought some smaller ones, but I also bought this really big one kind of as a quick makeshift, and I completed one, so I'm going to show you how I did it and show you on the second one. It's pretty cool. Okay, so here's the first one that I completed, and I'm going to show you how I did it. These are felt raised beds. This one's 4 feet wide and I think 2.5 feet tall. I'm using the self-wicking method that I learned on YouTube from Leon, and here's some of my existing ones that I have set up. As you can see, I use all kinds of milk cartons and Gatorade jugs and stuff like that in the bottom. I drill an outside hole for when the water reaches a certain level, and I decided to raise these so when the water drips out, it drips into a secondary. So it's doing pretty well. I got them in my added one. Some of these need to be completed, but I also have them in my existing garden over there. So let me show you how I did that. So since there's a lot of evaporation in Arizona, I'm trying to do the self-wicking in this also. So I lined it with some plastic, and I'm trying to hold it up approximately, 6 inches on the side. So I cut the plastic accordingly, and I'm going to fill it in with different containers and old PVCs and some logs, and I'll show you where I go from here. So here's a water jug that I've used, and you can see I use a soldering iron to put a bunch of holes in there, and what that does when it sits in the bottom of that, whichever way you put it, the water level when you fill it up, and I'll show you how I did that, the water fills up to whatever level you're at, the air comes out from the top holes, which aerates the roots, and when it goes down, it sucks the air. So it's just kind of self-monitoring, and what I do is I water it through, I have it on my drip mist system. These are new and I don't have it set up yet, through these pipes that go in to the bottom and feed the well. So, okay, so this probably looks like a hot mess. But all I'm trying to do, I cut down some of these old planters that I kept from trees and other shrubs and stuff. I cut them down. You're trying to create a space for the water to pool underneath. You use like very little water because the water retains in the bottom. What I'm going to do now, it's a neighbor's horse, is cover this with some shade cloth, which will prevent the dirt and everything going in. And you want to tuck it down into these little crevices in between. So when the water stays in here, it keeps the ground moist and the water goes up into the plants. Okay, so here it is with a shade cloth in. If you notice, I had those buckets to hold up the plastic lining because that's what's going to keep the water in the reservoir. I tucked this in, and I've been using like wood chips on the bottom that have been that are starting to break down. Okay, so here's all the wood chips, and I made it sure that I was pulling up the plastic all the way around and tucking the wood in between the shade cloth and the plastic. And you'll see also I added these 2 pipes. Actually, this worked out really well. Here there was a hole in the pot, so I just exposed that and stuck it in there. And that's what we're going to use to drip mist system. Also, you're saying, that's kind of a short one compared to this. I rolled it down. That way it kept its shape a little bit better as I'm creating the fill. Okay, I put a quick, just a little bit of straw just to take up some volume so I don't have to use so much of my soil. And let's talk about my soil, what I put. Okay, I have a mixture. I use some peat moss, a mix of the organic raised bed potting soil, a couple bags of steer manure, and I like also the mushroom compost. I add a bunch of supplements, bone, blood, meal, Epsom salt, and a bunch of different fertilizers inside the mix. Okay, so I got it all filled with dirt, and I just put a little bit of straw on top of the other one to keep the moisture in and hopefully prevent some weeds. So almost done. Okay, and here's the finished product. I got 2 of them. So I filled it up, and you can see, hopefully you can see, down here it's starting to sweat. So basically, the water line's going to be up to here. The water, or the plastic, was like a reservoir. All the other containers inside took up space to hold the water. So it's kind of cool. You're recycling all the plastic that would go into our landfill, and hopefully saving water. So I will give an update a little later, maybe another video of how everything grows. Wish me luck.